live on Instagram.
Can you see the questions on, like, if they were to pop up on?
Yeah.
Instead?
On the rock paper?
Huh?
On the book for you?
No. Just because I just want to make sure that you can see those.
Go ahead. You can see?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Here. Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. We are live once again. It is Sean and Carrie. We are on the show representing A Green Relief. All right. Today is what, March 7th, and we had some big news here in Florida. Recently, Nikki Fried set an announcement that she's going to start targeting stores that are selling CBD oil and products, and we'll get into that in just a second.
Whoa. I think you have to say that one more time. She is going to be targeting stores selling CBD products.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of a loaded statement there. We saw in the Orlando Sentinel and a couple other places that this is a news story that just broke today.
Yep.
So we wanted to talk about that ASAP. But before we do that, let's let you guys know. If you don't want to deal with any of this, go to agreenrelief.com/get started. Get yourself situated on an appointment for getting your medical marijuana card with one of our approved doctors. Okay, we've got a couple of locations, and we're spreading, we're getting bigger, we're expanding. So at this point, it's definitely a good idea so you don't have to deal with any of the legal pitfalls. So if you're in the Orlando or the Kissimmee area, even North Orlando, we're expanding up there. We encourage you to get yourself a medical marijuana card.
Definitely.
Make sure you are following us on all of these platforms. You're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're wherever you listen to podcasts, whether that's iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, anywhere.
We're on there.
Yeah, we are on there. Make sure you're subscribing to that, because when stories like this break, we want to make sure that we keep you guys updated and informed. And if you guys do that, screenshot it, come into the Kissimmee location, and we will go ahead and give you one of these sweet t-shirts to get yourself geared up, spread the word, and join the A Green Relief family.
And starting next week, if you're going to 609 Virginia Drive, we got some exciting news too, because Mrs. Fried has implemented some few things into play.
Yeah.
We did a complete infrastructure, I think, in less than the span of 20 minutes on the fly.
Yeah.
Our team is great. Shout out to them. Everybody's coming through. We're going to be able to turn 609 into our retail location, and we're going to be able to offer the first medical smoke shop to ever be done. That's ever in the United States of America.
Yeah.
And we're going to have grinders, papers, lighters, because another big thing that broke out today, and we'll get to a little later in the other half of the show, is that medical cannabis is going to be able to start getting passed with the bud.
Yeah.
2.5 ounces you can purchase for every 35 days.
That's a lot of bud.
Yep, it's currently 11 something right now. We have our staff on the phone with the state of Florida, because I hear, like we preach all the time on our show, we hear that these laws are going to come into play, but they're going to come into play and we have to govern them. We're the medical officers. We're officers like us. We've heard nothing yet.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to govern 2.5 ounces in 35 days? You haven't talked to the physicians. You haven't sent a blast email out. And then now, how's it going to work? You're going to go to Cureleaf. You're going to buy 1 ounce from there, so they're going to minus 1 and have 1.5 left over. Like, how are we going to do that? We're all assuming, and you know what they say about making assumptions.
Yeah. You make an ass out of you and me.
Yeah.
So nobody likes to be an ass.
Nope.
Well, so first things first. Let's talk about the big story right now. So Nikki Fried has sent, will be sending cease and desist letters.
Whoa. On our particular article, it says that she will be sending, but then when we get a little further down in our article, she took over. In Tallahassee recently, local police seized $500,000 worth of hemp-derived products from Natural Leaf Store under a federal warrant. Capella then said that shop was the only one in her office that has sent a cease and desist letter to. But as we go back to our article, none has been issued as of yet. Crazy, huh?
Well, see, here's the thing, though. Okay, so now, just like Carrie said, you have to remember, okay, they seized $500,000 worth of hemp-derived products under a federal warrant.
Yep.
Okay, so there's a clear distinction there. So the feds came in and they said, okay, we got to go ahead and we have to seize all of these products, right? Because it's not necessarily, there's a huge disconnect between the state and the feds.
Wow, so you're telling me the lady that we hired, I apologize, let me refrain from that. We didn't hire, we elected.
We elected.
We the people elected Mrs. Fried into office how many months ago now? And she's yet to build a relationship with the federal government, and we've lost over $500,000 to our brothers and sisters in the same field? That's ludicrous.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Something has to be done here. Relationships has to be built. Something has to be said.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I was saying earlier, though, that these cease and desist letters are being sent out, right? And there's a clear disconnect between federal and state. And I think right now it's going to be a little hectic. I mean, it seems like yesterday we were just, we had high hopes for Nikki and Holly Bell, the director of cannabis here in Florida. But I'm just a little confused by what's going on here, because it seemed like she was working with people like you and I, working with all of these companies who are trying to help people, but you're sending out cease and desist letters and telling them that they have to stop selling.
Us as an office, I could talk for Adrian. We are no longer selling any hemp-based, CBD-based products at any of our Adrian Relief locations. We've actually stopped selling it as of about 9:45, 10 o'clock this morning. We made it effective to all of our offices as soon as we got this, because Lord knows that anybody's been following us on our podcast, or who's going to be following us in the future and hearing this later in the future.
Right. Yeah.
They would have heard that what we said about them, what Miss Fried. We would have heard that we warned the same thing's going to happen. Sean, I think this is the first of many headaches coming down the hill.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's just you gotta take some punches, But it's important to remember the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, the commissioner that oversees that, Scott Gottlieb's.
Yep, that's Gottlieb's.
Gottlieb's. Yep, I didn't know if I was pronouncing that right.
Good job.
Okay, Scott Gottlieb's. His position is that the feds have exclusive authority to regulate products containing cannabis or cannabis-derived products.
You know what's so crazy about that? I'm pretty sure Mr. Gottlieb's and that guy that owns Amazon, not Amazon, Whole Foods, they got to be some sort of yacht buddies, golf buddies. I'm going to just throw it out there now.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's Bezos, because then Amazon bought out Whole Foods, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah, because there's Amazon drop-off lockers in Whole Foods now.
Yeah, and you know what's so crazy? The FDA is the only entity, I have to say entity, correct? That's the correct way of saying it?
It's whatever.
To regulate products containing cannabis or cannabis-derived compounds. That means hemp or CBD-based products. Now, if you're FDA approved, that means you're going to go into the Whole Foods, you're selling on Amazon. Our Amazon store now, we have to revamp our whole entire thing. That's for another day.
Yeah.
No worries. You're going into Whole Foods. You're the first company to go out there and says, I'm going to do it. Elon Musk went on to Joe Rogan's podcast
and smoked a joint
because he said drugs is nothing for him.
Yeah.
And the blunt came out to be like a Cuban cigar. Trust me, I smoke a lot. It was a very nice blunt. The guy took 3 deep hits, 2 really hard hits. He blew out. Look, there's nothing to me. Mr. Rogan said, wow.
Yeah.
But alcohol gets to him.
See, okay, all right. So here's the funny thing for me. Okay, now if you talk about supplements, it's a little different. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure the FDA, there's certain loopholes and there's certain guidelines that supplements have to abide by. But you have this thing called a proprietary blend. So you could put just about anything you want into the supplement and call it a proprietary blend. Now, what's confusing to me is that you have somebody like Nikki Fried who is sending out all of these letters, but yet the FDA is basically raiding this place in Tallahassee and basically taken away $500,000 in products, but yet we can go buy these crazy supplements.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you guys work out at all, but there was a couple of years ago there was a pre-workout supplement. It was supposed to amp you up, get you ready to work out, and I want to say there was some form of methamphetamine in this workout product. It was a derivative, and of course, like chemically, there are a lot of changes that can happen with just a small change in the chemical makeup. But it was still a form of methamphetamine, and it was huge. But yet, it took years. It was probably 6 months before the FDA had to step in and say, "Hey, you got to change your formula, or we're going to rip this off the shelves." But yet, this guy Scott Gottlieb is saying we have authority to regulate products containing cannabis or cannabis-derived compounds. Tell me the difference between a proprietary blend where you can just throw whatever the hell you want in there, but yet you can go in and raid something that is trying to help people. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, And then you were actually you pointed out to me that there's no with the hemp farms.
There's not one legal hemp farm.
Yeah, there is no currently approved hemp retailer in Florida.
Just like me at Agree Relief, just like the Miracle Greens and Doc MJ's, they were out getting their products and Solar from another state because there's no hemp states here. There's no hemp facilities here in the state of Florida. That's crazy. We're looking to push marijuana. We're going to legalize bud where we can smoke 2.5 ounces every 35 days and not tell the doctor offices how we're going to regulate it. No worries. We'll figure it out.
2.5 ounces. I don't know if anybody has seen 2.5 ounces of marijuana before.
Man, I smoke a quarter pound a week myself. What is 2.5 ounces going to do for me in 35 days?
And that's above average. A quarter.
Yeah.
A quarter pound.
Yeah.
So let's just say you have somebody. Okay. Before I get into that, I want to back up and say. So this is Jeff Sharkey and Taylor Beal. They run the Florida Hemp Industries Association. So here in Florida. Yep. They said in a statement, despite the passage of the 2018 Farm Bill that removed hemp from the Controlled Substance Acts and made it federally legal, there is still confusion among lawyers whether hemp-derived products like CBD are legal to sell and purchase in Florida. Now, there's some confusion, right? But there's no confusion that these people, whoever raided this place, this store, our brothers and sisters in Tallahassee, there was no confusion. They went in there and they stole, I'm going to go ahead and say it, they stole $500,000 worth of products.
Yeah.
But
they're not getting that back.
But okay. Hemp was removed from the Controlled Substances Act and made federally legal. I don't understand. But yet they had a federal warrant to go ahead and say, yep, we're going to go ahead and seize that stuff. So I asked Nikki Fried and I asked Holly Bell right now, March 7th, as of today, and it's what, 11:35? What's going on here? What is the issue? So we have somebody on Instagram. We got a couple of comments here.
Yeah, he was discussing that it's armed robbery to me. He was saying that basically what they did, they went into the store, took $500,000 worth of products from Natural Life. And we should reach out to them. We should write that down and reach out to Natural Life, see if we can get a phone call conference to them, something. I'll have the staff reach out to them today. We can message them on Instagram. We'll take a screenshot. We'll post it for you guys on Instagram and Facebook, showing that we are following through what we're saying on here. Yep. So anybody who's following us can see. We'll write down, contact them ASAP, and we'll get them out here. We'll see what they said about getting their products back. What's the whole time? Can they even say anything? Is there lawyers involved? Has to be. Yeah. Has to be something, and that's federally. Ooh. I would like to contact Legal Sentinel and see what they have to say about that, because Natural Life is just like us, guys. They're normal people. They're business owners trying to help out the community. And if $500,000 worth of products is out there, they lost close to $150,000, $100,000 easily right then and there. That's a lot of money, guys.
Yeah, for a small business, that's a huge chunk, man. You know, and what does that say? You know, for some, you know, and what's confusing is there's still a lot of misconceptions and myths, and propaganda around marijuana in general. And so when you have something like that, where you still see federal agents or federal workers going in and seizing all of these products, what does that say for somebody who's on the fence, right? You're gonna scare people away, and it gives this industry, hemp, marijuana, CBD, whatever you're more concerned with, it gives it a bad rap. And maybe this is just my gut reaction, or this is just my knee-jerk reaction, but I think I'm a little confused right now.
I'm really confused about? Think about this. The beginning of this article, Mrs. Fried's office said that not one warrant or
cease and desist
letter has been sent out yet. But then when we come down here, it's been done. That's the only one that's been her office sent out to, and that's Capella. Capella's Courtney Capella, the interim director of the Department of Health Office of Medical Marijuana Use. The Department of Health of Medical Marijuana Use. That's in Holly Bell's section as the director of cannabis, no?
Right, yeah.
So that's in the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. That's over Fried's department, same house. But yet, that's the letter they sent out to. So if it's a federal warrant, why did the state of Florida step in and send out the cease and desist letter? I'm so confused right now.
Yeah. No, it just doesn't make sense. And especially if, well, let's back this up real quick.
Oh, we have a comment right here.
Okay.
It only gives us to the government a bad rap for being thieves and con artists. Yep, I understand what the Fried comment. The company must have not donated to their campaign. That's very true. I really wish that they can make campaign donations public. Campaign donations are private, and when you file your tax returns, anybody who's given a donation, either goodwill or even a money tax return, they give you back your receipt for that. You submit that to your accountant, only the IRS is going to come out here and show you where it's from. All you got to prove is your tax returns. So I would love to know where that goes to. But again, just like I was saying, guys, we can have all the conspiracies out in the world, but as long as we're saying it, I appreciate you typing out there at Teddy_S2K prolific. You're smart. Keep saying it. Keep talking, because that's the only way to get it out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even we're still kind of perusing through this article, and Jeff Sharkey and Taylor Beal. Again, those guys are in the Florida Hemp Industries Association. They said, once again, the state and federal laws are in conflict on this important issue. We urge the legislation, and that's here in Florida, to pass the hemp bills filed, which will clear up once and for all this confusion and allow Florida to actively pursue growing and selling high-quality hemp products. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Nikki Fried was on, I believe it was another podcast. I can't remember what the name was, but she was honestly, she said that was her goal. Is she wanted to make sure that she could bring hemp into Florida, so you could have, like we talked about yesterday, a similar situation to the citrus crops here in Florida, right? So you could have, made in Florida and all of these certified, organic Florida things.
Bullshit. Well, dude, before medical marijuana was passed, you had the Knoxes, you had the True Leaves that filled out their $5 million their application 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Just an application, $5 million.
Marijuana doesn't just grow like that. You're yielding 4, 6, 8 months, 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, sometimes even longer.
If you want to help, you're telling me you can't pick one entity. I'm not saying to pick 10 or 20. One entity to be the first hemp farm in the state of Florida. Let us small offices help patients, because you want to know why? Patients still have to wait less than a week. When you call the state of Florida, they're telling you 7 to 10 days. You come to Greenwood, you can get your approval less than a week. As the only office that does this. Look it up. It's facts, because we contact you the same day. We get you before you leave our office doors. You get registered this same day.
Yeah,
that's what helps you get your approval in less than a week. But besides that, why aren't we helping patients better that way? Why aren't we figuring out a hemp-based product? Patients are coming in here. I'm still in pain. You're waiting a week. You're waiting a week and a half. You go to Doc and J. You're waiting 2 weeks. You're still in pain. You're still taking Vicodin. So we're not able to get CBD products anymore.
Yeah, which to be honest, I mean, that was like the first step, I actually, in the past 2 weeks, I've given 2 people CBD and recommended CBD to a lot of people for whether that's joint pain, whether that's sleeping, whatever the case may be. You know, and again, I've talked about this before. I work with somebody who is, she's a little bit older and she has crazy insomnia. I gave her CBD. You know, we ramped her up slowly.
Dude, be careful. Right now, it's legal to say you gave somebody CBD. If Mrs. Fried continues on her rant, it's going to be illegal.
Well,
without having a medical marijuana card.
Well,
because that's what she's shutting down.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. This particular person hasn't slept continuously throughout the night in probably 10 years.
Wow.
10 years. And
that's my son.
Yeah, right. And so now at this point, it's like we got to keep it hush hush. And you can't give somebody CBD and help them. What's that going to say? Again, it goes back to the other point. It goes back to ruining the reputation of what we've built as medical marijuana. And now you're going around and rating things. Again, there's a Tampa lawyer named Michael Minardi, and he's on the general counsel for Florida NORML, and NORML stands for National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws.
Wait, say it again. NORML stands for
National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws.
Marijuana laws, like it. Okay.
Okay.
I'm with you.
This is what he said. He said, these kind of comments don't help. They just further encourage law enforcement to go around and start arresting people. And that was in reference to basically Fried doing all of these things that she's going to.
That's a lawyer.
And that's a lawyer from Tampa.
A lawyer who gets paid privately, who gets paid money.
He's a private practice.
When somebody gets arrested, it's telling the public that, hey, the government is trying to concuss you or kabox you, however you want to say it, into getting arrested. That's hurting his pocket. He's telling the truth. Shout out to Mr. Michael, man. That's how I see that. I see a lawyer. You need to contact him too.
I was literally just gonna write that down.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Let's get these guys out here. Let's contact. We'll post what time and date we contacted them. Also, I promise you we'll get done today. We have an office full of staff here that can help us out. We're going to figure out how to get him on the show, guys, and ask the questions and see what he says, because there's difference when we're talking here. We're on the ground floor. Look, just yesterday at the same time, 24 hours ago, we didn't know it was illegal to sell CBD products. We have our own products. Ms. Fried doesn't know how much time and money that took into that. Forget the money, the patient care. You're still stuck for those 2 weeks, guys, but guess what? Come to Greenleaf, you'll still get your car in less than a week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like I just said in the description. If you're on Facebook and you look at the description, that's why I said that. And on Instagram, if you're watching live, I said to get around all of this garbage, all of this minutia, just do it the right way. At this point, get your medical marijuana card, because at this point, it's like, who knows what's going to happen next. And again, I want to say I have faith in Nikki and Holly right now. I think they're just trying to get things.
You got faith in them?
I want to give them the benefit of the doubt.
I don't got 2.5 worth of ounces. No pun intended. I don't got it, man. No way, no how.
Okay, all right. So we I kind of feel like we purged there for a little bit because we are a little pissed off. What's the next step? What can they do to redeem themselves?
Legalize hemp. Legalize? One, guys. Hey, uno más. How do they say it? Uno?
One more.
Yeah. Well, fuck, one more.
Numero uno.
Numero uno. There you go. One hemp-based farm. Just one. Let's start from there, guys. Let's make all of us as medical communities. Well, I understand legalized cannabis. I'm with you. But that's 2 to 4 years away.
Yeah. Like, first things first. What do we got to start with?
Hemp. Get one hemp farm in the state of Florida. Give us small entities like the medical cannabis office, like Doc and J's and Green Reliefs, and let's give us a chance to purchase from them. Have the public be able to purchase from them.
Right.
Make it open. Make the smoke shops, the head shops. I have my office right now contacting their cities, Osceola County and Orange County, and my cities Orlando and Kissimmee, and the counties separately, Osceola County and Orange County, to figure out what makes a head shop. We think of head shops, we're thinking of, no guys, not that type of head. We're thinking of the grinders, the smokes. We're thinking of the papers. We're thinking of the products that we use for the cannabis.
You go in there, you can't say weed, you can't say bong. It's a water pipe,
Yeah.
right?
But
It's
guess
all
what?
tobacco.
They're going to change that. And tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we're going to talk about that, guys. That's another thing I just got past saying, Orlando Sentinel. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, and the whole, it's going to be a huge segment on that. And we're going to show you guys how we, the state, well, I should say we, the state, because we all like the state people. We are going to help our patients beat the bullshit, beat what's going on, and help them and get them educated. Why is that we start to tell everyone baby steps? Because we have to, because we live in a state, and we live in a world. I shouldn't say a state. We live in a world that you crawl before you walk before you run, you mumble before you talk. These are all things that we wish we could just go to the moon in a day.
Yeah.
Shit, we got to train for 2-3 years to even think about going on there. Life is built that way. And I'm talking to Teddy.
Yeah. Teddy, it's almost, let's just say, for instance, and you helped me kind of change my perspective on this, because I always grew up like, just legalize it, just get it done with. But you run into these things just like this. You run into, like, if you just go wide open the floodgates, yeah, you're gonna start to have these problems where you get these confusions, right? And it shouldn't be that way, but that's how it is, because it's just look at the difference between state and federal, right? If you were just to go ahead and say legalize everything, just do it. Yeah, it would be simple, but then you have these gray areas like CBD and
No, stop. We're going. Listen. If our friend Teddy just said, Michigan, like you just said, Michigan legalized it off rip. Off rip means ASAP, right away. They didn't go medical. Why can't we? You want to know why? Go to our last 2 podcasts, the last 3 podcasts, subscribe and listen. I'll tell you why now. Again, you're not understanding. You're legalizing something. You have the same uneducated bud tenders behind the counter who doesn't know your medical history. You're not going there and telling them, I smoke recreation. I know I'm not. I'm not going to a complete beautiful young lady or beautiful young man or whatever the case is. Hey, I got HIV. God forbid I have AIDS. God forbid I have Crohn's disease, guys. Who's out there saying that? There's a reason why HIPAA was involved. There's a reason why doctor offices are enclosed and you go to it's private. You talk to a doctor in private, guys. Same concept to get your medication.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Let's get to the first step.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Well, you can see that clearly by saying, okay, we're going to go ahead and let you have 2.5 ounces for 35 days. I myself, I don't know if I could, even if I tried, if I could go through 2.5 ounces in 35 days.
That's too much.
That's too much.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
You're incorrect. So let's do some math. Want to do it together?
Let's do some math here.
Let's do it, guys.
Knowing me, I don't know if I could get through that.
So we're going to go off. We're going to go off every single patient's guidelines, because when we do medication, we don't go off per person. We go off the entire human body.
Okay, let's go.
So you're telling me 1 gram.
Yep.
And remember, there's 28 grams per ounce.
Correct.
So what's you do some math and get your calculator out? What's 28 times 2?
28 times 2. I'll tell you right now. It's
cool.
56.
56. And now what's 28 divided by 2?
28 divided by 2 is 14.
That's 14. So what's 56 plus 14?
70. No. Yes.
Yeah.
70.
So that's 70 grams. The average smoker out there is about 1 gram per blunt, per dosing of medication, correct? How many hours are there in a day?
24.
24 hours. How many hours are you up?
Probably a good, say, 18 hours.
18 hours. So we know you're up for 18 hours, right? 35 times 18 is what? Because the reason why I'm doing that is 18 hours a day for 35 days.
Yeah.
So I want to know how much hours that is.
18 times 35.
Yep.
630.
630 hours. And that's in 35 days, guys, okay? Now hear me out. We need a hand in the calculator.
Yep.
I need to do 630 hours divided by 2.
315.
315. So that means it's 315 hours, because what I did was 630 hours that we're up. We all know, in a month, or a month, 35 days, we all know that medication, smoking, is between 1 to 2 hours of onset. You feel your onset within 120 seconds. Within 2 minutes of taking that first inhalation and blowing out, you start to feel the effects of medical or medical marijuana. Cannabis or marijuana, however you want to call it. So I did it for 2 hours. So you had 315. You told me it was 70 grams, right? So 70 grams, that means that I only have 70 blunts, right? Or 70 different ways to smoke. Correct?
Yeah.
What's 70 times 2?
140.
140 hours, right? So what's 315 minus 140, my brother?
Hold on. 315 minus 140.
One more zero there.
175.
So you're telling me, you're giving me 140 hours of relief, but I'm in pain for the next 175? What kind of bullshit is that?
Yeah. Yeah. When you break it down like that, damn.
Please rewind it, play it back again, check the math.
Because honestly, that's like, and Teddy's saying, you got to take into account of, a couple years of smoking tolerance.
Yes.
And that's a big thing too, And it sounds, because originally when I read that, I was like 2.5 ounces. Damn, that's a lot. And you just broke it down.
We need to put that clip on Instagram, Facebook. We need to fucking blast that 1 minute right there doing fucking basic math.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for cursing, guys. I'm trying to be a little better in life, but this.
No, when you're passionate like that, man, like just right here, that just showed me like, all right, maybe that's not enough.
And, just now, I didn't do that before, I just, I committed. When I was doing it, I'm like, let's see what happens. Because I knew in my head something wasn't right.
Yeah.
But I want to be real. I want to be honest. I want to be raw. I want to show people what we do. This is how we do things. We just found out about the law about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah. I was driving over here and he's texting me and I'm shaking my head. I'm just thinking, great. Now what are we going to have to do? But that's, man, I tell you, I think having situations like this and then having people like Harry, and I think that's going to, the ones that prevail and the ones that are creative and the ones that are steadfast, the ones that are going to be here are, after all of this, are the ones you want to stick with. Green Relief is going to be here no matter what. And I think, when you have these doctors and, these people who take the weekend courses that we've talked about many times before, they're going to have situations like this come up because this isn't the last time and this isn't the first time or the last time ever.
You know what I wonder? I would like to ask Mrs. Nikki, Mrs. Holly, I don't know who it all is. I like to ask DeSantos. That's the guy who runs the state of Florida.
DeSantis.
I apologize. DeSantos. I watch baseball too much. DeSantis. Mr. DeSantis is making marijuana legal to smoke worth 175 hours of pain. It's crazy to me. Because the patient, what are they going to do? Make the patient come back into the office? You can't change it for every 35 days. How are you going to regulate? So then you're in pain for 175 hours. What's 175 hours divided by 24? How many days is that?
It's quite a bit.
Yeah. And we're not going to do 18 hours. I'm going to give you guys an extra 6 hours on the 8 hours, whatever the case is, 6 actually. So what's
that's almost a week.
A week full of pain.
Over a week.
Over a week. Straight, consistent pain. Anybody know what it's like to be on? What's crazy? Why I tell patients, everybody looks at their heartbeat and it goes up and down like a wave. And everybody thinks, great, that's the best thing in the world. I got a heartbeat. I'm 90 over 120. Life is gravy, right? You're a fitness guy. You think that's the best thing in the world. You know what's bad? Was many people, honestly speaking, 6 out of 10 people live their life on a heartbeat. And the reason why I tell you that, that's their pain threshold.
Yeah. When
your pain goes up, what's the first thing your doctor asks when you go into ER? Please look at this picture and point to me what's your pain scale. And they have the little emojis, the little smiley face for 0 for no pain, and the angry face for the 10.
Yep.
Where's your pain scale at? Same concept, man.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think there's a huge disconnect between what Nikki is a lawyer by trade,
Yep.
right? Holly Bell has a little bit more of a background with cannabis, and that's great. But I think there's no solid connection between the physicians who are really qualified and then the people up in Tallahassee.
None.
There's none. There's no connection. Why? They're making all of these decisions based on what's basically maybe it's based on their campaigning or their backers or their donors or their constituents. But again, it just
we got to get the people to help us. Everybody who watches us, who follows us, you need to have others follow us. We need help because when you look at everybody, I call them fluff accounts. Like I call it, you out there talking shit, but you have no credentials. You look at Doc and J page, they have 20,000 followers. They post a picture, they only have 30 likes. I call them fluffing. Like they have no credentials. We have 1,600, 1,700 people. We put a view up, we're getting 200, 300 views. We go live. That's what we need. We need your help, guys. We need you guys to post this. You guys need to hashtag this, copy this, tell your friends. Local or not, get the word out there, because our show we do every day, the more views we get, the more Instagram and Facebook puts us out there. The more chances of them hearing us. And we're going to start attacking them. Get some answers for us.
Real quick, just to add that Tampa lawyer, Michael Minardi, he also, and again, this is, I forgot. We'll put the article up after this. Basically, Minardi also promised that as soon as the first letters go out, he would file a lawsuit on behalf of the state's CBD retailers, saying state officials such as Fried can't interfere with interstate commerce.
And you know what? That same exact statement is why we're going to push full steam ahead at 120, have 609 Virginia Drive up and running by next week. I promise you that.
Okay, that brings up a good point. We literally just came up with that on the fly. Tell us what your do we want to say the ideas?
I got my boy. This is what I do.
Hey, do it.
I've been doing this for 17 years strong now.
Okay.
I'm 13 years old. I'm taking care of my parents. Now I'm turning 30 this year. For 17 years, I had to be a man.
Okay, now talk to me about what you mentioned to it earlier, but what's going to happen at 609 Virginia?
609 is going to be the world's first medical smoke shop. We're going to have your grinders, your papers, and what we're going to do is, since there's not one real hemp farm out here yet, or A, B, and C, we're going to use hemp-based products. We're going to use tobacco-free products. Yes, again, you'll still be able to get your zigzag wraps, but we're not going to sell the Blackwoods. We're not going to sell certain products out there because, yeah, it's good, but there's better ways to go ahead and do it. I, for example, smoke medical cannabis through zigzag wraps because zigzag wraps, medically tested, has less tobacco in there, and the film that they have is a small little strip, which you can cut off. People who roll understand that film's when that latches onto it. I like it burns better. It's 30 minutes, 45 minutes compared to me smoking a white piece of paper that's going to burn in 5 minutes. I don't care how tight you smoke it. I don't care how tight you roll it. I don't care how fast you do it. My blunt's about 2 or 3 grams regardless. So I'm smoking my longevity, or if I put a blunt for a gram. It's the same burn. And that's what we want. We want to be able to enjoy our cannabis, not take and start burning it up. It's different ways things burn. Education to patients is what we're going to get at our office compared to the smoke shop. How often we go to a smoke shop and tell, hey, Raul, or hey, Abdul, again, my boys, I'll let you, listen, put up with those raps. So what's your best piping? Oh, this just came in, my friend. This just came. Come on now. Tell me why it's good. Tell me how I can hit better. Tell me why I'm bubbling. Tell me what's better for you. Milk or water, ice or no ice. Y'all want the cool sensation, not the cool sensation?
Ice.
I feel ice also.
Yeah, I gotta ice it. Well, again, that's coming to the 609 Virginia location in the Mills 50 area. And that's just in response to what's going on today that we found out.
Well, we were going to open that place up any which way because
well, I'm saying, you know, as far as like we had this information come like today, and it just kind of reconfirmed what we got to do.
Yeah, definitely.
We're just reading some of the Instagram comments right now.
Raw black for me. Raw glass. Yeah, raw blacks are nice. And see the glass too, like being able to clean your glasses out. Like, well, a lot of people don't understand. I'm gonna drop a little bit of knowledge on you guys.
Do it.
Smoking. Many people out here smoke hookahs, and they're like, "Oh, I got a hookah. I got this. I got that." If you ever wanted me to smoke with you, first thing I'm asking you, first of all, come to your house and smoke. We go to a bar. Secondly, if we're smoking, how many hoses do you have? Mm-hmm. That's a crazy ass question, but when you're smoking that melon flavor and that hashish, and that lasting you that 2 or 3 hours for your bowl, and you swap out to a strawberry lemonade, I don't want to taste that mango.
Yeah.
Are you smoking a blueberry? And I'm switching to the blueberry is very dark. It's a very tough flavor. It's very to get like vanilla. Anybody who smoke hookahs out there, no. Anybody who smoke papers out there, no. You switch up to a melon or a watermelon, you're not getting the same flavor. Same shit with your pipes, guys. Get your pipe cleaners done, and not all pipe cleaners do the same. Don't get the pipe cleaners just mixed with ammonia. You get it mixed with the bleach in there, and bleach is better. You can even put bleach down your pipes and clean it out and rinse out 30 seconds after. Yeah. Hot water, guys. There's so much different tricks that we do to save your money. Yeah. It's
that's where that Virginia location comes into play, because if you are getting to the point where you are using more and more medical marijuana products, it's not necessarily just about having the tools, but you got to make sure that you're doing it correctly. You keep up with that, because it's like anything else. It's like your car, right? It's a mode of transportation, and if you're having these things to smoke with or anything, you got to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing, because it'll alter alter the amount of dosage or anything like that. You just got to be careful and just watch what you're doing.
Yep.
And that's what the 609 Virginia Avenue location is going to be. It's going to be an awesome head shop. It's going to give you the information.
And you get your medical marijuana card from there.
Get your medical marijuana card. And again, that's what, this whole show and this whole concept is to educate you guys. So if you're hearing this right now as of March 7th, 2019, and you're listening and you're thinking, man, this whole CBD debacle right now is just crazy, just bypass it. Go get your medical marijuana card. If you're listening on Facebook, I put the link in there. If you're on Instagram, go to our bio. If you're on YouTube or listening on the podcast, go to www.agreenrelief.com/get started. Fill out the patient form, get yourself started, just get yourself around this, so you don't have to worry about, oh shit, the feds are going to come and raid my house or anything like that. I don't think they would, but it's just, this whole thing is just crazy to me. It's just crazy. It's conflicting. It doesn't matter which way you look at it. The whole situation is conflicting upon itself. You have state and federal. Trump, love him or hate him, he passed that farm bill.
That's my dog.
And what's going on? We're still getting raided by feds. Like, what the hell is the problem here? And I'm a little disappointed by Nikki. I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt.
I love you, man.
If you're out here, if you're listening, Nikki,
prove me wrong. Contact us.
Yes, prove me wrong. Anybody in her organization, reach out and let us know.
Man, they're probably going to hide behind a white coat like that. I'm going to preview your questions, and we got to know what we're talking about. I bet you a bottle of water at some point, shit like that.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I guarantee. Man, don't make me sign non-disclosure. I'm not signing it, Sean. And I'm gonna blast your ass after, because if you make this come on the air, you're gonna have to hear us, and you tell us to pre-screen our questions and this and that. That's not raw. That's not nice. That's not what we do here. We're asking you straight up questions. We want answers. Tell us straight up. I don't have no comment. Okay, I'm doing that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's the whole idea behind what we're doing. It's raw. It's genuine. There's we come in and we have an idea of what we're trying to talk about, but when we get blasted by something like this, dude, you can't predict this. This whole situation. And I think when you start doing that, I think you feed into the whole problem where you screen your questions before. You're just following the narrative. You're doing the same thing that everybody else has done. And if you come in on the platform of you're going to make some changes and you're going to do something about medical marijuana and hemp in Florida, then you got to prove it. And right now you haven't proved it, and let's just
be clear. I don't want to. Anybody's been in this field who's been through interviews understand that yes, you have to submit questions before, but I don't want it to be where they regulate our subject of our questions.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody, please make it very clear before they say this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
These bozos up here.
Yeah, we understand that. I'm down, but let's talk about current situations, not situations that's going to be passed. I want to talk about bills that's up to be passed now. Yep. There's 20 or 30 of them. There's a bunch of them. Let's talk about it now, and then next time we can talk about those after. But for now, let's get some answers.
And that's all we're asking for. That's all we're asking for. Nothing more than just, what's next? How are you going to fix this situation?
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm excited about that. The 609 Virginia Avenue location.
Oh my God, I'm going to blow your mind.
That's going to be really something. And I think what's really important, and this kind of alludes to what I was saying earlier, is that you're going to have some people who are here in the beginning of the game, and I call it a game because you got to play by the rules, right? And the rules are always changing.
And shout out to the Green Relief Show. What you just turned into called the show. Shout out to LeBron, because other companies are trying to do what we do. It's called Canada Talk. They're trying to explain to patients, and I really wish I had them too, and I'm gonna follow you guys. You guys know who you are. I want to see what you guys do. I hope your patients sign your regulation forms. I hope they sign a HIPAA form saying that I'm gonna go on here. I'm gonna sign my waiver to go on live
Mhm.
and to speak to people. I hope you guys don't break any laws. I hope you guys are doing your research and just educating the patients the right way. Don't just educate on what the dispensary is selling, guys. Educate. We talk about every single dispensary on the show. That's one thing I made sure for a fact that we did. We didn't just zone in on one. We zoned in on all.
Because it's, a rising tide raises all ships.
Yep.
And as long as everybody's doing their part and they're doing it the right way, they're educating people, just like you said, not necessarily what the dispensaries are selling, but what the products do, how to do it. That's going to make everything better here in Florida, especially in Orlando, the Kissimmee area.
Yep.
So I'm just, I'm just looking through here and seeing if we missed anything.
This one I don't think we did, but tomorrow for sure we're
Yeah.
going to be going over the new law. We're going to do some more research on this, guys. This came out. There's going to be other news broadcasts. There's going to be a 6 o'clock news today. We're going to do our research. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the new laws going to be in place, how much ounces you can carry, what you can do, what you can grow. Really cool. We won't tell you how much and what till tomorrow. You got to tune back in, and we'll be starting at 11 o'clock for sure. We'll make sure to start at 11 so you guys aren't running into your lunchtime. Other than that, what else, man?
I think that's it. Just stay tuned. Again, it goes back to things changing. It seems like every day something can change. And that's why we're doing this every day, is to make sure that you guys stay informed. Again, go to www.agreenrelief, make sure there's an A in there, agreenrelief.com/get-started, and just bypass this whole situation. Get your own medical marijuana card and do it, and then you won't have a problem with this.
Yep.
Any closing thoughts or words?
Said enough today.
Yeah, I think so. I think that we've said what needed to be said. So we'll be back again tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And just a reminder, make sure you follow us on all the platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.
Teddy, thank you, man.
Yeah, Teddy. Yeah, we
We'll
love
see
it.
you tomorrow, man. Got more stuff for you. If you are a Florida patient, man, if you're not, I hope you're a patient, not a Florida patient. If you're a Florida resident, man, come on in. Even if you're out there, our doctors come out to you. We do VIP appointments. Our doctor does at-home visits. You guys check it out, agreenrelief.com. No waiting time. Contact us. I'd like for you to have you come in, man. Pick up some free gear.
Yeah, bedside manner, man. That's where it's at.
Yep.
All right, we will see you guys tomorrow. See
Thanks.
you.